Hello everybody, and welcome to our interview tonight. I'm very excited to welcome Jenny Schmal tonight. I met Jenny on Facebook a couple of years ago. I think it must be 3 or 4 years even, and we once were in the same group with it was just the elder group where we both which we both attended. And then end of last year, Jenny came closer to me somehow, and it was, I know when it was first happened, it was when we attended this class in Budapest, and Jenny asked me if I perhaps can send a picture from Budapest to her, because she so much loves this city. And then, yeah, we stayed in contact. And beginning of this year, so starting from February, 3 months onwards, I booked a coaching with Jenny. And this was just an amazing experience for me. And I so much learned from it, and I so much gained from it. So through this coaching, I started to do a Facebook group. I wanted to do this for a long time already, but I never was brave enough, or yeah, it never felt right. And yeah, so one of the goals I set within this coaching was to do this Facebook group, and to show up more and to present myself more. And all the goals I set for me for these 3 months, really everything came to life, what I have planned. And I really enjoyed the work, how Jenny is working. And that's why I invited her to this group. So this group, as you know, is called Entdecke dein Ur-Ich. And that's what I really did. I really found more and discovered more of my inner strengths, and more of my inner power through this coaching. And that's why I invited her today, this evening, to introduce herself and to talk about what she's offering, because I think it's a real gift what she's offering. And yeah, I want to share that. And so Jenny lives in South Africa, Johannesburg. And yeah, she is an international coach and speaker, and also an author. And yeah, so very welcome, Jenny. And please introduce yourself as well.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be interviewed. I so appreciate you. I think our coaching trip went beyond coaching. I'm very honored to know you, and I so appreciate you and what you bring to the world, firstly as a being, as a woman, as a healer, and as a friend. So, as you said, I'm an author. I'm an author of 2 books, which I only wrote the first one in 2018 and the second one in 2020 during COVID. So I'm a late bloomer. I never thought I could write. So I used to keep little notes. I still do. I make notes all the time, and I keep them in a shoebox, and the shoebox became a book. So I became an author. At the age of 68, I became an author. And as a coach, I've been a coach since 2012, qualified in 2012, but been in personal transformation since 2003, working for a personal transformation trainer, working with big groups of people, starting as a salesman in the office, and eventually being included as a facilitator in the work that they did. And as we all know, personal transformation is about the breaking down of old views, the unfolding of the onion of our old beliefs and ways of living that don't serve us anymore, and then the rebuilding of a new style or a new appreciation for the fact that there's more to life than meets the eye. And so in 2000 and just to cut the story short, and I'll go back there at a later stage, in 2009, 2010, 11, and 12, I had 3 deaths in my family. The first one being the father of my children, which was absolutely devastating because you're linked to this person, whether you're married to them or not. And we had been married for 17 years and then a long split. And I just got remarried after, at a ripe old age of 56, I got remarried. And so I lost the father of my children. And the next year, married this man, Les, and we were married for not very long, maybe 8 months. And he took a walk on the golf course and he died. He had a massive heart attack. And so obviously, as you can hear as I'm speaking, I went into major grief. This is the second person in very quick succession. It's like being hit with a baseball bat. It just takes all the life out of you. And I had been playing around with coaching, but nothing serious yet. And then in 2012, my son was murdered. And he was 39. So it was the 3 deaths, and nobody should ever lose a child. It should be the other way around. It's not supposed to work like that. So that was absolutely a devastation to me.
Wow.
And quite frankly,
causes goosebumps all over, Jenny.
Yeah, it was losing my son. I didn't want to live really. And also having done some coaching and personal transformation and thinking that you understand how the world works and you know a bit of the psychology and the psychiatry and the emotional intelligence of what can and cannot happen. But when you lose a child, it's totally devastating. So I decided, firstly, I decided to see a psychologist. And I must say that she did play a big part in the person talking to you today, because instead of it was quite long, but it was like my treat, my weekly treat. She said to me, one day you'll write a book and you're going to help other people. And at that stage, I couldn't see anything like that. But so I carried on with my coaching and got a degree and many, many other degrees, because I thought if I had a lot of certificates on the walls behind me, people would allow me to assist them. But really why I did the coaching and became a coach was to survive. It was a survival mechanism. I needed to stay sane. I needed to do something every day, and I needed to work with myself. And to go inside and to look at those 3 deaths, not even look at them, to feel them and to see what they meant for me and how I was going to move forward in life. So I'm not saying that if they didn't happen, and I wish they didn't, but that I wouldn't have been a coach. Mm-hmm. But it gave me an inkling on, it's sort of, I got to know how to work with people without studying about it. So I was, and by the way, I did not want to coach people on grief at all. I said, I will never use my son's death as a manipulation to get people to pay me. So it's taken me a long, now if somebody wanted, of course I would, but at that time I was adamant, I will never do that. So I got my coaching degree in 2013, a master coach degree. I'm an inner life skills coach. And so it's a little bit different from other training. It's a little bit counterintuitive.
Can
well,
you
Yeah, in a life skills coach, the questioning techniques are different because we're focusing on the wisdom within you.
Okay.
And that, you know, the coaching that we did, you can see now that that's what it is. So coaching, there are questions that coaches ask, but they come from the outside. Mm-hmm. My questioning techniques and my meditation techniques that I've devised for myself to use with clients are bespoke. I design them, and they all designed on finding the wisdom within the client, letting the client experience the wisdom within themselves. So it's an experiential coaching that I do. And how would we say that? It's almost a game. You know, you experiencing it week after week. We're playing a game. Yes, we're talking. Yes, we have data and we have content, but there's context, and the context is your inner context. So when I'm using questions, I have a special way of asking questions so that you answer the questions from within you.
And so you work around the mind. I think that's, yes, that's what I was aware of during coaching, that it's often the mind who keeps us from our own wisdom. And,
exactly.
And yeah, and that's what I so enjoyed in this coaching, because I didn't even realize that you walked around my mind, and I could come and find my wisdom within me.
Correct. So I always call it going in the back door of the mind, mm-hmm. where the mind doesn't click very quickly what's going on, because our mind is, look, it's essential we have a mind, but the mind, sometimes the mind is there for survival. It allows us to survive. And sometimes if we really want to find out who we are and how much we can experience of ourself, and I'm talking about the self, you know, not the ego, I'm talking about the being or the self or the awareness, then we need to use a technique to get there. And so that's why I say I work with your inner wisdom. I'm not giving you the answers. I'm allowing you to find the answers within you, not outside. We're not going to find them there because they're not there, they're within you. And so those are the techniques and the meditations that I design bespoke for each client, because I might have 6 clients at the same time doing the same kind of course, but not one of them will have the same type of meditation or the same type of questions and answers. It will be, I will use my own intuition. And we all have intuition. We all have psychic abilities as well. We all have a way to work with our senses. And for me, it's a knowing. I know how to work with a client. And so I'm taking to the client almost to experience a place beyond thinking and feeling, to a place of knowing.
When you say you have a knowing, it's not a mind knowing. It's an intuitive knowing.
It's an intuitive knowing that's connected to the field that is available to all of us if we know how to get there. Yes. Yeah. So I work from that place of knowing. And when I'm with the clients, I'm listening to what they're not saying.
Yeah.
I'm feeling what they're not expressing. And I can only do that if the client allows, by the way. So it's asking a permission. And I always say, can we play this game? Yeah. Can we do this meditation? Are you willing? Because if the answer is no, I cannot, and it's not me doing anything for the client. It's not me having skills or techniques. I can give them over, I can share them, but it's an energetic connection to the client that allows them to experience who they are, and also how far they're willing to go and what they want to experience. And that's why I always ask the client, what do you really want? You know, right in the beginning, what do you want? And whatever they said, that's what we're going to go on this experiential journey, and they will experience that for themselves if they're willing to take the steps to get there.
Yeah, and for me, so the goals I set for me was to thrive and to glow and to be joyful. I have written that down so I can, and as well but also be gentle and strong. So being gentle and strong at the same time, and to be seen and radiate my joy and glory, and to feel an orgasmic life. So that's
and looking at you right now, I mean, you always were, but I think exactly what you just said, there it is in a picture, your face. So it's a joy to work with clients that really want to push the limit.
Yeah,
I enjoy that. I enjoy working with anybody, but I really enjoy, because working with clients like that, it means I'm learning, I'm experiencing more. And that's what Inner Life Skills is about, is finding how to do it differently. Is there a different way? And do we each have our own magic well of wisdom that we can dip into, or put the bucket down and draw it out and find a different kind of life for ourselves? So that's, in a nutshell, the coaching that I offer.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to say, as we know, I'm a relationship coach.
Yeah.
I think there's an echo. I'm not sure if it'll go away.
Oh, I wanted to look on my iPhone, on my phone,
Okay.
If someone is watching on Facebook, and I pushed the wrong button. So that's why,
okay.
that was
so I think my coaching is about journeys with Jenny. And in a nutshell, so I always take it down to a vehicle. So if somebody wanted coaching with me and they just wanted a 1-hour session, they have a question and they want the question answered, or they want to discuss it, I always say it's like being in a bus. You buy your ticket, you get on the bus takes you from the one stop to the next stop, you get off, the ride is over. Then I have another coaching where I'd say you're in a taxi. So you still just on the bus, there are people with you. So the environment is there. The second one is maybe you want 2 sessions to sort out some issue you have. Well, that I call the taxi, because you getting into the taxi, you're paying your money, but you're still going from A to B. But while we're in the taxi, we can sort out a problem for you. What I really like to do is the limousine, because the limousine can be for as long as you like. And, we come to some agreement, it could be 8 to 10 weeks, because then we can even stop on the way and get your dry cleaning, or buy a horse, or, go to dinner. So I prefer the bespoke 8 to 10 weeks coaching.
Oh, yes, that's true. Buying the horse was also one of the goals. I forgot to mention that.
It was. So that's what I offer. And I prefer to do the 8 to 10 week coaching, because it allows the client to, we build up trust. And then, of course, our limousine can take us anywhere we want to explore.
And so, I think when you do 3 months, it's really, you can really feel the change, and the body needs some time to really implement changes within the body. And I think this 3 months is really a perfect time for that.
Yes, the world, we need to process, even if it's just a body process, we do need to process what the experience has been. And some of the meditations that are in that 3 months coaching are, they're not very long meditations. I don't do 20, 30-minute meditations. They're actually quite quick, but they are deep.
This was really amazing. And so they were all different, this meditation, and they had so big variety. And there were, for me, they were so colorful and so bright, and so yeah, always something new. And I also do meditation, and I know meditations. You see, I am a coach as well, and
Yes.
I have done a lot of meditations, but they were so different, and they brought me to a very deep space within a very short time. And that for me, this was really amazing. And I got these pictures so clearly. And so it really, my subconsciousness was working. So I got it colorful and bright, and I got animals and furniture and symbols, and they were all swirling around.
You know, I do believe, just to finish off on the coaching, I also like to work, and I think you know that, I believe, and I know we have Ernst helping us, and I do coach men as well, but not as many as women. And for me, women have thousands and thousands and thousands of the lineage of women behind them that came before them. And there's a power there. There's a power on calling on I call it ancestral angels. So I also like to work with ancestral energy and bring it in a meditation or two. And only when it's relevant for the client that I'm working with. So basically, I can work with any client on any subject, but my favorite is, who are you? Who are you really? And what do you want to explore that you've never explored in yourself before? Because every single person, me included, I want to explore more. What else is there?
Yeah.
You know, otherwise we just stop and we do our knitting or our cooking or our whatever it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're on this planet to celebrate life and to experience whatever there is to experience. And I think that's, you know, the beauty for me. To thrive and evolve, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's about also this curiosity. What more is there?
Yes, and to realize that, you know, we don't limit ourselves. We take the blinkers off and we say, I'm giving myself this time to experience X, Y, and Z, whatever happens. Because what's supposed to take place will, because we're working in the field, and it's energetic, and even meeting people like I've met you, that's it's energetic. It was going to happen anyway. We just didn't know where. I thought the other day, which group was it where I met you? And the other thing for me, so that's my coaching part, and that's sort of how I coach. But the other thing that's very important for me, my vision in life is to join hands with those already in the process of personal transformation. And personal transformation covers emotional, spiritual, physical. It's a realm. It's like the healing that you do. That's also, it's a transformation. Transformation is about change happening, energetically or otherwise. So I've always, that is mine, is to join hands with others, to communicate and collaborate and introduce and widen the sphere of the people that I know and the people that I meet. I love meeting new people. Is there something on your phone that you want to check?
I want to see if someone is watching on Facebook, because I can't do it on the computer here.
Then why don't you just put the sound down and check? Switch your sound off. I will
mute yourself here, Renate.
Renate, mute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to know who is watching. Now I see it. So sorry, I interrupt. I don't know. I would like to share two or three things from these meditations, which
Sure, you can.
were very awesome. And I remember there was the one meditation we did when there was a walk along the beach.
Mhm.
And before this meditation started, I got warm, and I took off my pullover, my sweater, and then as soon as the meditation started, you said I shall put a cape on. So this was so fascinating that I somehow in my mind I already knew what will come next. So that's why I took off my sweater to be able to put on the cape. I didn't know about before, but some parts of me probably already knew that.
I think what I call that is precognitive intuition. So there are some people, I'm not an expert in this, but there are some people that even before going on a new holiday or a new trip or a new business or a new something, already have seen a part of that place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it lands. I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, but I know it's called precognitive intuition. So it was, for me, I was smiling because I was about to encourage you to do something and you'd already taken the cardigan off. And in a lot of the meditations, you know, I might be asking somebody to go down some steps or to take a walk. I sometimes ask them, if you've gone ahead, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Because some people, and you happen to be one of those that's, you know, ahead before somebody says something. But the meditations all have a use, if I can call it a use. It's actually a blessing. Yeah. A bit of magic, a bit of a miracle. And the meditation is simply to get the mind to allow, you know, to drop the mind, to drop the thoughts that are happening in the mind, so that the being, or the, you know, some people say consciousness, awareness, I call it the being or the self, not the ego self, the other self can take part. And meditations are designed that way, to take somebody, or to, I don't like to say take, but to encourage somebody to experience this journey. And obviously, I'm watching, I'm looking, I'm feeling, I'm experiencing where you are. It's a safe space for you to be, for you to experience that, and then to take them to where the mind drops out and they can experience something new for themselves. And that's the point of, because in those spaces, I call it the space between your stories. Mm-hmm. The mind is switched off, the story is not running, you're in a different space. And it's to get the person to that space. Now, if I use the same meditation every week, it wouldn't work. Yeah. Because the mind's already put that into the computer, tick, 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 and it knows. So we change them. The meditations are purely a vehicle to get the client into a space where they can feel more, experience more, know more, and enjoy more.
And how much do you yourself join this meditation? So you watched a client?
Yeah, I absolutely have done them all. I would never let anybody experience anything that I personally have.
No, that's not what I meant. When you lead someone into a meditation,
yes.
In which realm are you?
I'm in the same realm as you.
Yeah.
But only I'm experiencing it with you.
Yeah.
But I'm also observant, because you're in a meditation. I'm watching to see that your eyelashes are fluttering. Yeah. You know, that you are still there. I'm looking at the color of your skin. So I'm very observant of what's going on with the client, because I always say in the meditations, and I think you know that, I always say, if you're uncomfortable at any time, you can come back. Or if I think it's gone too long, maybe, and it's never happened, but I will kick my finger. So that's my, that's my skill as a coach. But I'm there with you. Yes.
Yeah. I was asking this question because in one meditation, this really incredible stuff happened. And so I was deep down in a meditation, and there was kind of a chapel, and then I don't know, how was it? I said I smell fire, and then I went out, and there was a fireplace behind this chapel or church. And then Jenny said, is it normal that horses come close to fire? And that there is a black horse standing next to this fireplace. And I was not aware of this horse, but suddenly, of course, I knew that this was Tessa, yeah? So Jenny was able to perceive the entity of Tessa, who joined me in this meditation, and she was able to feel and perceive that, and that's why I was asking that. So
why I asked you that is because I've never ridden a horse. I'm not a horse. I mean, I love horses. I love horses running wild, but I've never been on a horse. I've been to horse training once to see how, and it's another story for another night. But what I felt very connected to, there was a horse, and the back right leg was doing this and that's why I asked. It was like, attention, please, attention.
Yeah.
And I thought, do I say something? I don't know about this horse. I had no clue. I hadn't experienced that about Tessa yet. It was only after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, well, it's, it may sound a little odd, but it may be very important. And that's why I said, there's this horse. And you said, that's Tessa.
Yeah.
I thought, what? What? So that was a new experience for me. So that's why I'm saying we're both learning.
Yeah.
In this situation, when you're working with people in the biofield, in the energetic field, lessons come for me. I knew there was a fire, and I thought there cannot be a horse and fire. It doesn't work. But it was like an instruction. Talk, say, I'm here.
And the funny thing is, we often do these circles with Tessa, and they are called firesides. You see, and then we meet them on Zoom like we do now, and we meet with Angie from Australia, and there is a group of people already, and all these people have been contacted by Tessa. So she's really building up a circle by her own, and inviting people in that way. And that's
honestly, it was really something new for me, but I knew as a knowing that this was important.
Yeah.
And that it didn't matter how I sounded, I was going to, ask you this question. What is this and how is it going? So also working with somebody, you can only go as far as you trust them, they trust you. Yeah. Was there a message by Tessa then in your mind? I can't read the rest of the
Was there a message by Tessa then in your meditation?
Did you see what Scylla wrote?
Yeah. There was a message was there a message by Tessa then in your meditation?
The message in the meditation was for you, because we then went further. to buy a horse.
Yeah.
But it sort of came in the next meditation. It was because there was another meditation where somebody else told you to buy a horse. So I think it was to recognize that this working with the horses was expanding, and a new horse was coming in.
And then for me, it was that she's seen. That she can be seen by others, and that she can even come into meditations with a person who has never known her before, seen her before. Yeah, and to this, doing this with the hoof is look here, look. And also keep going, go on.
And the meditation itself, this meditation was a connection to ancestral energy. So there was Tessa, just come into this meditation, which was for me something to look out for in the future. But it was an introduction to me. There's I want to be part of this. I like this. I've never been on a horse, but I'm enjoying this. And it was precise. It was like an instruction, like you just said. It was like that. And it was the one leg. It was like that. And I didn't know that horses do that.
Yeah.
It was like, take notice of me. I'm telling you something.
They do when they get impatient. They do that when they get impatient and when they want to get attention. So look.
Yeah. So I suppose this kind of coaching could go anywhere depending on who the client is. Because when I advertised the coaching, it was finally find the love of your life at any age, the ultimate love experience. And really that sounds a little bit, like my book, it's like going to meet somebody, but who you're really going to meet is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's about. And you'll meet yourself in the biggest way possible. Whatever it is that you desire, what your desire is, and it may not even be a conscious desire, it may be a subconscious desire. Maybe something you really want to experience, but you say, well, I want to, I don't know, learn how to work with flowers, but actually what you want to do is skydive. And that's why the work is counterintuitive, because it's unorthodox. It's and I think you asked me this question just yesterday, or what is
contra? What is it? Contra?
Counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive.
And counterintuitive, yeah.
So, Jenny.
So really, for counterintuitive, it may be. I just wanted to explain counterintuitive. So everybody, I'm sure, knows. But if I was coaching somebody who wants to lose weight, my type of coaching, I might ask them to eat more, not diet. I'd ask them to feed their body to lose weight, not starve the body. So that's what counterintuitive means.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me keep quiet for a moment so you can speak.
I just wanted to know what kind of people come for a coaching. So what would you say? What's your client? What can they expect from, or what's an indication to book a coaching with you?
I think what the client is going to experience, just from a coaching point of view, I think I made a note, is that they're going to, depending on what they want. So I have clients who are in a relationship where it's not working, and they have the biggest story about the relationship and why it's not working. And then we go into coaching, and what we find is that they've been projecting, or it's just a story, but all my clients find themselves.
Okay.
And that's the bottom line. It's about self-love. It's about finding out who you are and why you're here on the planet and what you want to experience in the biggest way possible. It's about finding you. It's about being in alignment with you. So that's what they would experience. But if we had to say it in a way, you know, if somebody had to meet me in the lift and say, well, what do you do? I would probably not express it how I have in this interview. I probably would say I work with people who have experienced trauma in some way and have repetitive negative patterns of belief patterns that are self-sabotaging and self-denial, and want to break those patterns. Because most coaching is breaking of patterns. Okay. So I could say that. I could say I work with divorced women who want to put themselves back into the world. I could say and I have done this. I help coaches monetize their dream business. I've done some of that. And thank you, Sila. Never run out of clients, no. But the thing is, the bottom line, so they come to me with one thing, but what they find is themselves. I'm very clear. That's the kind of coach I am. They're going to find who they are in the biggest way possible. Because for me, I think I've shared it with you, there's an analogy that I use. The apple tree, there's a seed that becomes the apple tree. It just wants to experience itself as an apple tree. It doesn't try and be an orange tree. Mm. It's not even here to grow apples. It's just here to experience the experience of being an apple tree. And I think for my clients, I want them to experience who they are. Fundamentally, bottom line, who are you? And what do you bring to this celebration of life? And how do you want to explore that? So for me, maybe this will explain it, because I see I'm really going over time. But for me, what is just be the bee? Absolutely, just being. So for me, it's being joyful. That's why I'm here, to bring joy. So this interaction we've had tonight, if there's no joy, I haven't done Jenny, because Jenny is just a name my mother gave me. You know, she said, you'll be Jenny. And I'm not, of course, that's what people call me. But for me, it's to bring joy and to join hands with others so that I can communicate. Communication is very big for me. Laughter is very big for me. And exploring and curiosity. The curiosity of being able to go a little bit further and experience something like meeting Tessa in a meditation. You know, that is a gift. That's priceless. Absolutely. It's priceless. So really, that's, I think in a nutshell, that's who Jenny is. And we really took it on a long way. But author of 2 books. The first book is called Regenerate. And I put my Jen in the middle, so it's not spelled like normal regenerate. The 8 steps to joy, taking you from taking responsibility from where you are, and the 8 pillars going to joy. And I wrote that after my son died, because I wanted to write about the steps I took back to being joyful. And then the other one, of course, Finally Find the Love of Your Life at Any Age, where I've narrated the loves in my life, and also how I evolved as a woman. And for some people, the book looks like, oh, well, you know, there were 5 men and they came in and out of her life, but it's not about that. It's about this woman that's writing the book, sharing her existence with you and how she developed and the different stages of her life and how she chose these people, because we choose who we bring into our lives. It may be like they happened by accident, but we choose people. We have a choice. to choose people to bring them into our lives. And it doesn't mean that they should not stay. It can be for 50 years you can be married. But it's your choice. But you're still evolving. And so you were going to say something.
Yeah, that I read this book, and that for me this is a book that, as you said, on the surface it looks like, okay, all my men in my life, but there is so much more depth within it. It's really that you have created the man who came to you, and everybody does, because you do it unconsciously first, and you learn how to do it consciously. And the more you are aware of that, you create your surrounding and also your man by yourself, the more you gain and grow. And that's what this book is about. And I think it's also about you see in the outside how much you love yourself. And therefore, for me, this book is so much about self-love.
It's totally about self-love, the whole
Yeah.
book. And it was meant to be like that. And I didn't know that I was going to write the book. It was just COVID. We were in lockdown. What are you going to do? I was invited to a group to write a book in 30 days. I had papers all around my dining room table. I had no idea, but I knew it was going to be about self-love. Okay, so how will I do that? And then it unfolded. And you know, there was another person who's not in the book who was a wonderful baker, but you have to stop somewhere. But it was really to honor the people that came into my life, but also to honor myself as loving myself enough to share my story. Yeah. So I think we've been speaking for 48 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
from those who are watching, are there any questions for Jenny? Gilla, do you have a question? Would you like to ask something? Then you can ask in person. You don't have to chat.
I was thinking about one question, but I'm not sure if it's really relevant or important to scale. It was about the meditation, because I have difficulty to meditate, and I heard how beneficial it is. And you said you work with meditation, different types, but there are the meditations that I would call like entertaining the mind. I mean, taking away from the everyday thinking, but not yet to that ultimate state. Why meditation is for, in my thinking, because what I think is the nicest part of it is to reunite yourself with yourself, that you say self, and block out everything that is this unit called Chilla or Renata or Jenny or Ernst. But what is the purpose of this kind of taking the mind to certain places and experience things? That's why I asked what was the message by Tessa, because my mind wants a logical reason why I'm going in the woods and staying at the beach, and why.
I think you just said the magic word there, which isn't really a magic word, logical. The mind looks for reason. And I do the meditation so that you have a time when the reason is not important. The experience is. And that's why I also don't use long meditations. So you living in Budapest, I mean, the moonlight, if you can watch the moonlight for 10 seconds, that's a meditation. Walking across the bridge is a meditation. But in my kind of coaching and the meditations I do, what is the experience while you're walking on the bridge? Not in a thinking mode. Because when we do the meditations, we give in the body time to thrive and evolve without the noise of this part.
And
that's why I also...
Sorry, there is a delay in the sound, so I didn't want to interrupt. Oh. Sorry. So it sounds like your meditation is teaching people to be present in their life.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I meant, that it still has a reason, because meditation has different types, and I can relate to that when you say, oh, that's why we're doing that. So switch off the mind and just be here and now and one with your surrounding, or enjoy what you see and smell and see and so on. I don't have the expectation to feel God, you know, because...
what do you want to feel?
Yeah. That's what I said. The ultimate goal for meditation so far was this, that you become selfless, not just be present, but not even be present. But
I think the beauty of doing some of them are, for me, the way I work, effortless effort. There should be no effort to become in alignment and empty. But we don't want to be so empty that we just sitting under the Buddha tree. You know, life is happening. And so that's why for myself, I work like that. But I could work without meditation. I would just work with questioning. It goes to the same place. You can just ask questions and the person will empty. But for me, the meditations are short, powerful, and just to get you totally aligned with yourself. Yeah. And you know, we all want to experience bliss, but even that is looking for a desire outside of us, where the bliss arises, joy arises within. It all arises within. And I think that when you can experience that at the click of a finger, or having your own way to do it. Did you have an orange in your hand just now?
An apple, huh? No, it's
okay.
exquisite.
Yeah, it's yeah, I see what you do. So even that, it's just like I'm connected. You know, I'm connected. So I love that question. And if you have any more, please send me some, and I'll be only willing to answer them. But for me, I could meditate walking over the bridge in Budapest. I just felt like I'm in heaven.
You are very welcome, Jenny, and let me know when you are around. I'm very glad to be the tour guide.
Yeah, you know, I always think that I use a lot of bridges in my work, because we're bridging the gap. It's a metaphor. We can use the bridge as a metaphor, from crossing to the one side to the other side and finding ourselves in heaven, in bliss, or in hell. It depends. Yes. But thank you for your question, and yeah, do that. I like that. Thank you so much for engaging.
Thank you. I'm famous for asking questions, so don't.
It is so important, because when we stop questioning, we may as well just close the book. Questions are so important, and also the right kind of questions, and not to be afraid to say, I need to know more. I need to, you know, what does that mean? And sometimes we don't speak, and it's not good not to question. Questions are excellent. So I've taken up 1 hour of your time, and it's Friday night, so I'm sure you're going to need to have your dinner and maybe a glass of wine. I would love to be there with you all in Budapest or in Austria, having a glass of wine, but I'll be having a cup of coffee. And I would love to have another talk one day.
Yeah.
Maybe I interview one of you or one of your friends. I would love to do that.
Yeah. So
thank you. I really enjoyed it. It
Thank
went on a flow of its own, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well, very much. Thank you very much for doing this, for giving this interview tonight. And yeah, I'm sure I enjoyed it a lot. It was really interesting to hear about your background and about the modalities, how you do your coachings.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the person who's running the Zoom, and to, is it Scylla? We say Scylla. Did you call her Scylla?
Chilla.
Yeah, it's like chill out, so it's chill out.
Chilla. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you too, Jenny.
And I'm sure that we will chat again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I think it's wonderful to have a Zoom man.